Alright, what's up? So if you can't already tell, we got our first snowfall in the Northland, and I thought it'd be a good time to film a Camera Thrifts with the cheapest X-Trans sensor camera I could find.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32
So for what the EM1 lacks for in a viewfinder, a completely articulating screen, it at least has a tilting screen, is it's very, very portable. And it's great for street shooting because you can basically one-hand it. All your dials are on one side. So Fujifilm's known for two things in particular: their great JPEG quality and their film simulations. Now, almost all of these photos, unless specified, are either or one of those things. Okay, so for camera thrifts, I like to keep the budget under $200. Sacrifices sometimes have to be made in doing so, and the lens that I used was full-time manual, so we're not going to be touching over autofocus much, if at all, in this video for the XM1. I wanted to wait until it was warmer out before I did some street photography, just so there'd be some subjects and I wouldn't die or get my fingers and hands lopped off from frostbite. And to be fair, it is warmer, but now it's nighttime because it gets dark at like 5 o'clock p.m. But like I said, it doubled in temperature. It was 5 degrees all day Fahrenheit. Now it's 10, so we're good there. And we're gonna be taking a street walk. The dynamic range on the old XM1 is impressive to say the least. Now this first shot here is just a single standard long exposure, and the second is a bracket at 2-stop increments, and I am pleased. Now the XM1 has some film simulations, but Fujifilm wanted to save the larger batch for the professional grade cameras. But the ones included all sound like cheese except for this one, which is my favorite. So included are monochrome, Provia Standard, Astaya Soft, and Velveeta cheese. If you're not a fan of the film simulations, here's some raw files, and man, they grade nicely. These are all shot at low ISOs on a tripod, so here's some handheld shots at ISO 5000, aperture 5.6. As you can see, the colors still hold up greatly. There is some grain, but I think that adds to the filmic look that I was going for when using this little camera. So the XM1 was released in 2013 as a direct competitor to the Olympus EPLs and the Sony Nex series cameras. It was mid-range, priced at about $800, but today you can find them easily for $150 to $200. I believe I even got mine for sub $100. I can't even remember the price, but I know it was incredibly cheap and I couldn't pass it up. Now, if we look at the ergonomics, it's not like you'd see on a lot of other Fujifilm cameras when it comes to the dials. There's no set ISO or shutter speed options. It's more or less like you'd find on modern DSLRs. The grips are very subtle with stippling on the thumb, but it's nice because you can slip it in and out of your jacket pocket very easily, at least I can, while still maintaining something that doesn't feel like it's going to slip out of your hands. One thing that might scare people away is that there's no viewfinder or options for one. To me, that's okay because the screen does articulate up and down, which makes it great for, again, street photography when I can hold it waist high and still compose a clean image. Another great addition to the XM1 is their flash, because it's not just straight on, giving you that deer in headlights look. You can bounce it or move it to your liking. Now, who's this camera for in 2021? It's rather cheap. It's an interchangeable lens, 16 megapixel X-Trans crop sensor, so it can be used to your heart's desire, anything photography wise. I don't say hybrid shooting because it's full HD, which is okay. Maxes out at 30 frames per second, but there is no mic inputs. I think it's okay as a B or C camera for video work, but it's nothing to write home about. To me, where this thing shines would be street photography, because again, it is incredibly small, especially for its age. Not only that, is it has a big X-Trans crop sensor, and it's mirrorless, so you can adapt almost any kind of lens you want to it. I picked up this cheap 7 Artisans lens for, I think, $50. and it's just lived on it ever since. The camera is pretty snappy for most of your needs. I think if you're getting into things like bracketing, that's when it's going to start slowing down. Fujifilm's known for two things: good JPEGs and their film simulation. I can attest that the images straight from the camera with no editing look fantastic. As for the film simulations in this camera, there's only a few, but they're good ones. So to wrap it up, I think this is an incredible choice today, especially for street photography at its price point. It's so small with a big sensor, and you can adapt almost any lens you want to it, just unleashing your creativity. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to Matt's Notes Instagram, fight in those comments there, and I will see you next time.